Some pretty incredible developing news coming out today, November the 5th, 2025. Take a look at the latest headlines with me. We're going to be talking about nuclear weapons here. The U.S. has fired a Minuteman III doomsday missile after Trump called for restarting nuclear weapons tests. Here's another one. Photo shows test launch of U.S. Minuteman III nuclear missile. And let's take a look here on X. You can see some photos coming out of this. The flight test that took place last night over California. We're hearing that the United States has launched an ICBM nuclear-capable missile. Here's another photo of it. The U.S. Air Force has successfully test-launched an unmanned Minuteman III intercontinental ballistic missile, aka an ICBM, from Vandenberg Space Force Base on November 5th. Today, 2025, the routine test demonstrates the reliability and readiness of the United States nuclear deterrent and underscores the importance of maintaining a credible strategic capability to ensure global stability. Now, let me know your thoughts. Donald Trump, the United States, we're hearing they have given the go-ahead for nuclear testing, ICBMs, and Russia has responded. Let's take a look at this so you can see it for yourself. Coming out today, you can see Wednesday, November 5th, 2025. Putin orders nuclear weapons test preparations after Trump threat in new escalation. We're hearing that Vladimir Putin has responded saying, okay, we are going to get our nuclear weapons ready as well. Expert issues a warning after Putin orders potential nuclear weapons tests. Again, you can see all of this unfolding today, November the 5th. And in addition to that, Putin ally floats sending Venezuela nuclear-capable missiles to deter the United States, as well as we're hearing that this is also potentially going to spread. And we had heard this threat before from Russian President Vladimir Putin, who had said the United States is going to be giving ICBMs, long-range missiles, and nuclear-capable missiles to Ukraine, to the enemies of Russia. Why can't Russia do the same and give nuclear weapons, nuclear-capable weapons, to various nations that are the enemies of the United States? So we are seeing that Vladimir Putin is responding to all of this, and we're hearing that the United States, they are testing nuclear weapons. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think that things are going to be escalating further from here into potential war? If you think so, put yes. If you think no, put no. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Now I'm going to dive right in, get you caught up on the latest. I'm going to cite the sources, put it on the screen, read right from it. Now, if you appreciate that, do me a favor, take a quick second, hit that thumbs up like button for me. Just helps spread this out further across the YouTube platform so more people can get the latest updated information. Now, in addition to that, if you want to stay up to date, it is totally free. Why not go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. Now, in addition to that, as I'm seeing the yeses and nos starting to pour in, I also wanted to mention to you guys as well that there is a new channel that I'm planning to launch here very soon. So that way, if anybody is interested, I know that we have a lot of believers here on the channel. If you're a believer, a praying individual, Christian, put a prayer hands in the comments and take a look at this. I'm going to be launching a channel which is an audio Bible with my voice. You know, a lot of people say that sometimes the news reports can be very frightening. I don't want to be a voice of fear. I just want to be a voice of clarity so you know what's going on. But also, we're going to be launching an audio Bible. So if you want to hear the same voice giving you the news that's going to give you the Holy Bible, go ahead and join. It's going to be at the Holy Bible KJV. I'm going to also provide a link for you in the description and also in the comments, so that way you can join if you'd like. I'm actually going to paste that in there right now if you'd like to join the new channel. So, like I said, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to stay up to date, and also I'm going to be pinning that link to that new channel in the comments for those of you that are interested. I'm going to pin it right now. So you can go ahead and click that link, subscribe to the new channel if you'd like to be a part of the Holy Bible, audio Bible, narrated by Steve Ram. And I'm also going to get my wife on board so you can also have a woman voice reading to you the scriptures as well. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive into the latest, as we're hearing that the United States has done a test launch overnight of ICBM nuclear-capable missiles, and Russia is responding as well. And not only that, but saying that they might even put missiles into the hands of Venezuela as well. And I see a lot of people saying, yes, they are concerned, but I also see a lot of prayer hands in the comments. we've got a praying channel. Pray for our nation, pray for our world, pray for safety and peace. But let's go ahead and take a look at this so that way you can get the latest information coming out today, November the 5th, 2025. Now, this article says that the U.S. fired a Minuteman III intercontinental ballistic missile, ICBM, early Wednesday after President Trump called for restarting the nuclear weapons tests. Air Force Global Strike Command launched the GT-254 nuclear-capable missile from the Vandenberg Space Force Base in California, with the tests going off without a hitch. The unarmed rocket landed near the Army's Ronald Reagan Ballistic Missile Defense Test Site in the Marshall Islands. And again, just to clarify, we are hearing that this was a test launch. However, right now, things are very tense between the United States and Russia, and this nuclear-capable ICBM launch is raising eyebrows. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at some more information. The test, which was scheduled months ago, has garnered attention after Trump ordered the military last week to begin testing America's nuclear weapons for the first time in more than 3 decades. So just to clarify, we have not seen anything like this in quite some time. Now, the Minuteman III missile arsenal is one leg of America's doomsday nuclear deterrent, meant to be launched only in response to a nuclear attack by an enemy nation. The U.S. also maintains nuclear weapons that can be launched from submarines and from bombers. So again, we're hearing that this unfolded just this morning, overnight, November the 5th, 2025. The United States launched that nuclear-capable ICBM Minuteman III, which is a doomsday missile only to be used in response to when we see a potential attack on the United States. Here's another article to give us a little bit more information. Photo shows the test launch of U.S. Minuteman III nuclear missile. Now, this article says the United States test-fired an unarmed Minuteman III intercontinental ballistic missile on Wednesday today after President Donald Trump has ordered nuclear weapons tests. Now, the test of the Minuteman III missile, which can carry up to 3 nuclear warheads, validated the reliability, readiness, and accuracy of the nation's ICBM fleet, the U.S. military said, adding that the launch was routine and scheduled years in advance. Now, here's why it matters. Trump announced last week on social media that the process for nuclear weapons tests would begin immediately, drawing widespread attention in the U.S. and among its nuclear adversaries, Russia and China. Energy Secretary Chris Wright later clarified that the tests would not include actual detonations, as had been carried out in the past. So again, these are going to be nuclear-capable ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, but they will not have nuclear payloads carried on their launches. Now, while the U.S. has observed a moratorium on explosive nuclear testing since 1992, it continues to conduct unarmed test launches of its ICBMs and submarine-launched ballistic missiles, or SLBMs, regularly to ensure both forces, along with nuclear-capable bombers, which complete the country's nuclear triad, provide strategic deterrence. Maria, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. She says, thank you, Steve, for all that you do for us. God bless you. Thank you so much for the kind words in the super chat, Maria. I appreciate that a ton. I'll continue to keep you up to date on everything. Now, here's what to know. The test launch was conducted by the U.S. Air Force Global Strike Command, which oversees ICBMs and nuclear bombers, at Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. Now, the unarmed missile carried a re-entry vehicle designed to hold a nuclear warhead that flew about 4,200 miles west across the Pacific Ocean and reached the Ronald Reagan Ballistic Missile Defense Test Site on Kwajalein Atoll in the Marshall Islands. And here's another image of that. You can see the photos of that launch. The launch, designated GT-254, was initiated by the Airborne Launch Control System, a backup command and control system for the land-based ICBM force, from aboard a U.S. Navy E-6B aircraft to test the system's effectiveness and continuous availability. The U.S. Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Kerry Ray, commander of the 576th Flight Test Squadron, described GT-254 as a comprehensive assessment that ensured the ICBM weapon system's continuing reliability and accuracy by collecting invaluable data. The test comes as the U.S. modernizes its ICBM force by replacing the Minuteman III missile, which has been in service since 1970, with the Sentinel missile. Maintaining the readiness of existing missiles is a top priority until the new missiles are deployed. So making sure that we're keeping up to date on our ICBM nuclear technology, making sure that we are having everything ready and at the highest levels available. According to the Federation of American Scientists Nuclear Information Project, the U.S. Air Force deploys 400 Minuteman III missiles, each currently armed with one warhead, in silos across Colorado, Montana, Nebraska, North Dakota, and Wyoming, which is why we've also heard that these would be high targets in a potential nuclear attack as well. I've covered a list for you of where they said there is potential for attacks across the United States, various cities that would likely be hit, and a lot of them are states like this in the central United States, in the Midwest, where they're saying that we have our silos, our defense systems set up. These are likely where the adversary would hit. Now, while the Minuteman III force, with a stated range of more than 6,000 miles, is controlled by ground launch centers, it can alternatively be fired through the airborne launch control system aboard an E-6B aircraft if ground launch is unavailable. Now, as of January of 2025, the U.S. nuclear arsenal is estimated to include approximately 3,700 warheads in deployment and reserve, including up to 800 assigned to the ICBM force, of which about half are deployed, the Nuclear Information Project has said. So here's what people are saying. General S.L. Davis, commander of the U.S. Air Force Global Strike Command, said in a press release on Wednesday today, as we modernize to the Sentinel weapon system, we must continue to maintain the readiness of the existing Minuteman III fleet. GT-254 helps fulfill that commitment, ensuring its continued accuracy and reliability. U.S. Air Force Colonel Dustin Harmon, commander of the 377th Test and Evaluation Group, said in a press release on Wednesday today, this test validated the reliability, adaptability, and modularity of the weapon system. Through this comprehensive assessment, conducted by a dedicated team of Air Force Global Strike Command airmen, we ensure the highest standards of integrity and reliability for the nation's ICBM system. So here's what happens next. The Minuteman III missile test launch comes after Russia tested its nuclear-powered torpedo and cruise missile, and China showcased its newest ICBMs. It remains to be seen whether the U.S. will carry out additional tests to signal its nuclear capabilities. Now, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you glad to see Donald Trump doing these nuclear tests, pushing this? Do you think that this is good, or do you think that this is bad? If you appreciate Donald Trump's approach of peace by strength, drop a 47 in the comments for support for Donald Trump and what he is doing right now by being very aggressive to push the Peace by Strength initiative by the United States. He says, America first. We are the strength in economy, in war, in all these things. In fact, today he gave a speech discussing this, and this is the approach of Donald Trump, making our adversaries see the strength of the U.S. If you appreciate that, drop a 47 in the comments. And again, take a look at some of the photographs that are coming out here. Now, this says, overnight, at around roughly 1:35 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, November 5th, 2025, the 576th Flight Test Squadron of the U.S. Air Force Global Strike Command carried out a regularly scheduled launch of an LGM-30G Minuteman III, unarmed, nuclear-capable, intercontinental ballistic missile. So again, these are nuclear-capable, but they did not carry that nuclear payload from Vandenberg Space Force Base, California. The ICBM traveled approximately 4,200 miles, landing within the U.S. airspace and missile defense test site location of Kwajalein Atoll within the Republic of the Marshall Islands in the northwestern Pacific Ocean. Now, despite claims made by several accounts and individuals, this was a routine test launch that occurs several times annually, and has nothing to do with the current events on President Trump's recent announcement regarding the resumption of nuclear testing in Nevada. However, a lot of people saying it is still quite concerning and alarming And we're going to be seeing a response here in just a second from Vladimir Putin. Here's another image of it so you can see it for yourself. This one says the U.S. Air Force has successfully test launched an unarmed Minuteman III intercontinental ballistic missile, ICBM, from Vandenberg Space Force Base on November 5th of 2025. The routine test demonstrates the reliability and readiness of the U.S. nuclear deterrent and underscores the importance of maintaining a credible strategic capability to ensure global stability. And there you have it, some pretty incredible images of what unfolded this morning, early this morning, overnight, November 5th, 2025, with those test launches of those Minuteman III ICBMs. And this comes as we're hearing that Donald Trump has announced that there will be nuclear testing in the United States immediately. And we are seeing a response from Russian President Vladimir Putin. Let's go ahead and take a look here. And I'm still seeing those 47s pouring into the comments for support for Donald Trump. And also, if you support the channel and appreciate the updates, if you haven't done so yet, please take a second, hit that like button. And for those of you coming on, again, pinned in the comments, I'm going to be launching a audio Bible channel for those of you that want to hear the Bible in my voice. We're going to be launching that soon. Go ahead and subscribe. Before the end of the year is out, we're going to start launching several audio Bible books for you. Now, let's take a look at this headline here. Ukraine-Russia war latest. Putin orders nuclear weapons test preparation after Trump threat in a new escalation. Donald Trump said that the U.S. would be running nuclear tests last week, sparking fears of a renewed hostility between the two countries, the United States and Russia. Now, the article says, Russian President Vladimir Putin has ordered preparations for nuclear testing after President Donald Trump said the U.S. would be running tests last week. Freedom. Thank you for the $5 super chat. He says, even if we keep up, what's the point of worldwide war? All humanity is gone. Our Savior in heaven is our most precious gift of life eternity. Thank you so much for that, Freedom, and I agree and appreciate the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Reading on, it says, I am instructing the Foreign Ministry, the Defense Ministry, the Special Service, and the relevant civilian agency to do everything possible to collect additional information on the issue. Analyze it as the Security Council and make agreed proposals on the possible start of work on the preparation of nuclear weapons tests, Putin said on Wednesday today. Defense Minister Andrei Belousov told the Russian leader that remarks by the United States made it advisable to prepare for full-scale nuclear tests immediately. So Russia is saying that they are prepared to do full-scale nuclear tests right now as well. They're saying they are responding to Donald Trump's remarks and they are preparing their nukes for testing. Last week, Donald Trump announced that the United States is to resume nuclear weapons testing immediately, raising fears of renewed proliferation between the world's two biggest stockpiles of atomic weaponry. Between them, Russia and the United States, they maintain 87% of the world's total inventory of nuclear weapons. So there you have it, you guys. We're hearing that Russia is responding, saying they are readying their nuclear weapons as well. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this article coming out that says expert issues a warning after Putin orders potential nuclear weapons test as well. So new warnings coming out. And you can see here, Putin orders nuclear weapons test preparation after Trump threat in new escalation. You can see the photo of him sitting at the table making that announcement. Russian President Vladimir Putin has ordered officials to draft proposals for a potential nuclear weapons test, a step not taken by Moscow since the Soviet Union collapsed back in 1991. Defense Minister Andrei Belousov informed Putin that recent U.S. remarks and actions made it advisable to prepare for full-scale nuclear tests at a Novaya Zemlya Arctic site. Putin instructed various ministries and agencies to gather additional information, analyze it, and make agreed proposals on preparing for nuclear weapons tests. Security analysts warn that a resumption of nuclear testing would be highly destabilizing at a time of acute geopolitical tensions, potentially leading to an action-reaction cycle among nuclear powers. This development follows a statement from Donald Trump last week about instructing the Department of War to begin testing nuclear weapons on an equal basis, though the type of testing was not clarified. So there you have it, you guys. We're hearing that they are responding right now. Russia is saying that they're preparing to potentially start their own weapons testing as well. Experts are issuing the warning. Now, in addition to that, we're also hearing that they might as well be sending nuclear-capable missiles to Venezuela. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now, this one actually coming out yesterday. And also, thank you so much, No, for the $20 super chat. Appreciate that a ton. Let's take a look at this here. This article says, Putin ally floats sending Venezuela nuclear-capable missiles to detour the United States. So we're hearing that right now. They are saying not only will Russia be preparing, but they're also going to be sending it to adversaries of the United States as well. Let me know your thoughts. Are you concerned about this? Again, if you are concerned, put yes in the comments. If you're not, put no. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let's take a look at this article and see if we can get some more updated information regarding this in the last 24 hours. Russia has suggested that it could send its most advanced hypersonic missiles to Venezuela as tensions with the United States have escalated. Now, Alexei Zuravolyov, deputy chairman of Russia's Parliamentary Defense Committee, told Russian news outlets that there were no obstacles to providing the Orshnik or the Kalibr missiles to the friendly nation. Russia is actually one of Venezuela's key military technical partners. We supplied the country with nearly the entire range of weapons, from small arms to aviation. The details and volumes of deliveries are classified, so the Americans might be in for a surprise. I see no obstacles to providing our friendly nation with new systems such as the Orshnik or the well-proven Kalibr missiles. No international commitments restrict Russia in this regards, he said. So again, they're talking about arming adversaries of the United States with these potential nuclearly capable potential ICBMs as well. Now, here's why it matters. Tensions in the region have grown in recent months as the U.S. has increased its military presence near Venezuelan waters. The Trump administration has deployed fighter jets, bombers, drones, spy planes, warships, and the Marines to the region, citing efforts to curb drug trafficking. These operations have resulted in more than a dozen strikes and over 60 deaths since September, with many of the alleged traffickers having departed from Venezuela. Now, in response, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has reportedly reached out to Russia, China, and Iran to request military assistance. And we're seeing that they are reaching out to the adversaries of the United States. So here's what to know. Russia has signaled openness to the request and escalated its rhetoric. Now, Zurakovlev emphasized that the U.S. should expect the unexpected. The details and volumes of deliveries are classified, so the Americans might be in for a surprise, he said. Now, the Orshnik missile, according to Moscow, is an intermediate-range ballistic missile capable of reaching speeds of Mach 10 and can carry both conventional and nuclear warheads. Russian President Vladimir Putin described the missile as an intermediate-range ballistic missile, or an IRBM, that is able to travel long distances at 10 times the speed of sound, or Mach 10. Now, Russia and Venezuela have signed multiple agreements in recent years, including a strategic partnership treaty aimed at expanding military and economic cooperation. The deepening of this alliance comes as both countries seek to counterbalance U.S. influence in Latin America and beyond. Now, the threat to place the nuclear-capable missiles in the Western Hemisphere could lead to tensions not seen since the Cuban Missile Crisis. While no final decision has been announced, the public floating of such a scenario is an escalation in rhetoric. Officials within the Trump administration have prepared a series of military plans aimed at Venezuela. According to multiple unnamed U.S. officials briefed by the New York Times, chief among the proposed objectives are targeting Venezuelan military units, protecting Maduro, and seeking control of oil fields central to the country's ailing economy. However, both President Donald Trump and Secretary of State Marco Rubio have downplayed the likelihood of the U.S. going to war with Venezuela, but suggested that Maduro's time as the country's leader may soon be coming to an end. So here's what people are saying. President Donald Trump, speaking to 60 Minutes on Sunday, said, "I doubt it. I don't think so. But they've been treating us very badly. Not only on drugs, they've dumped hundreds of thousands of people into our country that we didn't want. People from prisons. They emptied their prisons into our country." Now, the Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov told Russian state news agency TASS on Sunday, "We are watching very closely what is happening in Venezuela. Of course, we want everything to remain peaceful and for no new conflicts to arise in the region." U.S. Representative Maria Elvira Salazar, a Florida Republican, told Newsweek the Trump administration is doing exactly what it needs to do: remove from power an illegitimate president, someone who stole last year's election after promising to abide by the Barbados Accord. Now, so here's what happens next. The administration has yet to respond to the Russian statement. It is yet to be seen if strikes will continue on Venezuelan vessels, and we are hearing that those strikes, they are still happening. Things are escalating, and we're hearing that right now the United States is saying that we are ready to test these nuclear-capable intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, and in addition to that, we're also hearing that Russia is responding, and Russia is saying, in addition to them responding, that they are also going to potentially be giving these missiles to the adversaries of the United States, Venezuela as well. Man, let me know your thoughts in the comments. We're hearing that things are escalating and significantly. Things are definitely getting tense right now with the United States, Russia, Venezuela, adversaries of the United States. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you appreciate the way Donald Trump is handling this? Very different than the previous administration. From the Biden administration, we had seen them take a very passive approach, but now we're hearing that the Trump administration is pushing for peace through strength. They are going to show the strength of the United States, which will deter the adversaries of the United States from potentially wanting to cause problems or go to war. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you like peace by strength? If so, put 47 in the comments. If you think no, this is causing too much tension, too much escalation, drop a 46 in the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. So, like I said, though, regardless of what unfolds here, I'm going to be sure to keep you up to date here on the channel. We're hearing that this unfolded today, November the 5th, 2025, and you can see all of the statements that are starting to pour in from various countries. We're seeing the responses from Putin, from his cabinet. We're seeing right now those pictures coming out of that test launch. We're going to be seeing where we go from here. And I am seeing 47s pouring into the comments with people saying they appreciate Donald Trump's approach. Peace by strength. They are glad to see that he is putting the United States first and he is doing peace through strength. So right now, things are getting a little tense, but we're going to see if it unfolds in a way that is going to de-escalate the situation around the world. Now, like I said, I'll keep you up to speed every step of the way. And if you appreciate that I cite the sources, put it on the screen, get you the breaking news, show you the articles, do me a quick favor, hit that thumbs up like button. Looks like we just need about 60 more likes to have 1,000 while we're live. Subscribe to stay up to date. If this is your first time here, it's totally free. And also pinned in the comments is the new channel if you're interested in hearing a new audio Bible coming out in my voice. We're actually recording it right now. We're going to release first couple of books. A lot of people telling me that sometimes the news coming out on my channel might give them a little bit of anxiety or panic. It's not what I want. I just want to be a source of clarity so you know exactly what's going on. And also, I want to be a voice of peace and reassurance. So we're going to start another channel where it's just going to be my voice reading to you the scriptures. We're going to start off probably with Genesis, the Gospel of John, Proverbs, Psalms, and start releasing books as we have them ready. So that's pinned in the comments. Be one of the first ones to join the channel. Haven't even added any videos yet. It's not officially launched. Just giving pre-word, letting you guys know that this is on the way, planning to launch it before the end of the year. So thank you so much for the support. I see people saying that they appreciate it, that they're going to be on there. More going to be coming on that channel for an audio Bible by Steve Ram. But thank you guys so much for joining me. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.